Celestial Gems is a series of 5 motivational speeches delivered by Thecla C. Deterville to various groups and organizations marking or celebrating special occasions. These speeches have been delivered to schools, women's groups, sporting and charitable organizations, and business enterprises. Thecla C. Deterville, Managing Director of Celestial Self-Development Center, holds a master's degree in business administration from the University of the West Indies Cave Hill Campus Center for Management Development. She served as president of the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture for 2 consecutive terms. She has been a board member of several local institutions and organizations.
This address was first delivered at the 9th Charter Anniversary Dinner of the Rotary Club of Groseley in 2003 under the theme, "Together we can, together we will." The title of my address is "Together we can, together we will." What a powerful affirmative statement. To my mind, this statement underscores the resolve of your organization under new leadership. It is said that when you affirm something, it is not true because you have affirmed it, but rather that you affirm it because it is true. Since your organization has selected such an affirmation as your theme, in view of my previous statement, what is left for me to do is to challenge you to see the truth in it. The use of the word together conjures thoughts of unity, synergy, bonding, camaraderie, to name a few. We can. This certainly does not connote maybe or perhaps. It states a clear and unambiguous intent. We can. And I ask, is the intention sufficient? Certainly, your response is no. The question is, what else is required? Let us explore what the other needs are. Resources for certain, particularly people, the essential human resource, the drivers, the movers, and the shakers, the enablers. Our people must bring to the equation some essential qualities such as commitment, selflessness, a willingness to share, grow, and learn, as well as leadership, not only at the helm, but at every level of the organization. Oftentimes, we make the mistake of assuming that leadership should only be demonstrated at the head. In most instances, this is the main reason for lack of consistency in the level at which many organizations in our country function. The vagaries, the highs and lows, as a result of us not developing or exercising leadership qualities regardless of where we function. The organization prospers under a particular leader. Sometimes the mantle is passed on. People who functioned at that level before disregard the expertise which they acquired and engage in activity to put the current leaderships under test. This puts the organization at a disadvantage because it has not grown from the investment it made in previous leaders. Rather than add value, we diminish the value of the organization. We depend on our people to generate the other resources that are needed to secure the much needed finances for undertaking meaningful projects in keeping with our set goals and objectives. Our dedication, creativity, innovation, and ethical standards come into play. This brings us to relevance. Regardless of what has gone on before and how successful it has been, we must be constantly aware of the times we live in and the trends that are emerging around us. We need always to re-examine the nature of the projects that we undertake. Is the target moving? Are we looking forward or are we looking backward? It is not sufficient to say this is how we did it before or this is how those before us did it. We need to ask some questions such as, Is this project relevant at this time? Are we targeting the right people? Have we examined the needs of the people whom we want to serve? To what extent are these simply our pet projects to serve our own selfish needs? Relevance is always important. Are we serving the needs of the majority or a few? Having reviewed your bylaws or constitution, is your mandate clear? Is the framework within which you operate well spelled out? It is our people that give life to our systems. And this is why at every stage of the life cycle of an organization, there is always need to examine if you are meeting the needs of your general membership. Obviously, there must be a measure of congruence between the needs of the individuals and the objectives of the organization. We certainly need commitment, with a capital C, bold and underscored. And I mean constant commitment. As a voluntary organization, persons coming into the organization must be committed to the aims and objectives of the organization. They must understand the raison d'etre of the organization and be committed to these objectives. The structure of the organization must ensure that systems are in place to constantly gauge the temperature of the general membership and to ensure that standards are maintained and that we do not deviate from our core purpose. Sometimes we will encounter challenges, but with the can-do attitude which your theme conveys, as well as the quality of leadership that resides in your organization, you are well placed to assess and analyze your situation and take the necessary corrective action to overcome any challenges and obstacles. Flexibility comes into play. It is the how of what we do. It is the means we use to achieve the end that we envisage. If we are encountering difficulty in achieving our objectives, we need to re-examine our processes, our mode of operation, our selection process, our induction process, our sources of recruits, our channels of communication, the types of projects that we undertake, the procedures we use to determine the projects that we choose, the environment, internal and external, in which we function, our systems of sanction. Are we a learning organization in name but not in nature? Our mode of celebration and our purpose for celebration. Is there fairness, equity, and openness in our decision making? Are we truly committed to the growth and development of all our members, or do we only focus on some of our members? Is there a passion for volunteerism and service among our membership, or did we join the organization with ulterior motives? Is the enthusiasm of our best members contagious? If not, why not? How genuine are we about what we do? Is it self above all else? Or is there an innate desire to grow individually while we help each other grow? What is the level of empathy? Do we feel that we can depend on each other in good times and in bad? What about diversity? Do we use it to advantage? Do we value differences in our members? Or do we ostracize those who are not carbon copies of ourselves? Have we identified strengths as well as weaknesses of our membership and use these to grow the organization as well as the individuals within the organization? Is the quality of our relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and openness? I am of the view, for our relationships to flourish, we must first be comfortable with who we are. We must take responsibility for our individual growth and development. We must be self-assured so that we can meet at the table as equals. If we have the level of self-confidence in our abilities to do, then we are not threatened or intimidated by the doing, being, or having of others. We first have to develop a level of independence before we can be interdependent, which facilitates the functioning of healthy relationships. For its further strengthening, your organization must develop a consciousness where each person gives and each person receives. You must develop a group soul where you let go of your individual needs and desires to become one body, a real team, transcending your individual abilities in the process. Note the key word is transcending. I want you to see the possibilities, the can-do approach, the action that is required to complement the talk and the thinking. Believe that for every question, there is an answer. For every weakness, there is a strength. For every lack, there is abundance. I implore you to use your creativity. Go with the flow. Birds fly because they believe they can fly. Like the good book tells us, let your light shine. Do not hide it under the bushel. The way forward calls for an abandoning of egos. It calls for humility to allow for that merging of consciousness, of effort, and of purpose for the good of the organization. Oftentimes, we allow our egos to get in the way of the common good, to the detriment of our organization. Use your celebrations to rejuvenate yourselves. Do not allow entropy to set into your organization. Be in the mode of constant renewal. Sweep away the cobwebs that blur your vision. Use your youthfulness, your energies, your creativity, your ingenuity, your imagination, and your knowledge to propel your organization forward. I want to leave you with this acronym for team. T stands for together, E for each, A for achieve, M for more. It reads, together, each achieve more. This speaks to the unity I spoke of earlier, your commitment to personal self-development, the achievement of your personal as well as organizational goals, and the quality and quantity of your output, which should in turn impact the quality of your family and work life, as well as your place in your community, and in keeping with your aims and objectives, your place in the global village. Organizations such as yours are the ideal nurturing ground for the quality of leadership that the world needs. Do not let us or yourselves down. As young, vibrant professionals, you all have a purpose in the scheme of things. Yes, it calls for a coming together and working for the common good. I salute you and I join you in affirming, together we can, together we will. And I know you can. You each have what it takes. Seek and you shall find. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.